Tensions between the United States and China are escalating, driving fears here at home that the trade battle could turn into a war.
A flurry of tweets can be confusing. We broke down the latest developments for you. The president started this week by cracking down on the ZTE Corporation on Monday. The Commerce Department banned American companies from selling parts and services to ZTE for 7 years. It's the fourth biggest smartphone supplier for the United States. China hit back Wednesday by adding a 179% charge on American shipments of sorghum. The grain is used to feed livestock and make liquor, and China is the largest buyer of U.S.-grown sorghum. Those exports were worth nearly $1 billion last year. Congresswoman Sherry Bustos says the president is making all the wrong moves and they're hurting local farmers. Local 4's Tahera Rahman has more in part one of tonight's special report. Tahera?
Jim, Tiffany, Representative Sherry Bustos has been outspoken about her opposition to President Trump's tariffs. Earlier this month, she published a column in the Dispatch-Argus blasting the commander-in-chief, saying, quote, "Trade is complex and it must be done thoughtfully and deliberately, not as some knee-jerk impulse that ignores basic economics." I asked her what basic economic ideas she thinks aren't being factored into the president's equation when it comes to tariffs and what it means for farmers at home.
Sitting in a congressional district that Donald Trump won, what I would say is don't treat us like flyover country. Don't spit in the face of the family farmer. Keep in mind that about a quarter of all of the soybeans that are produced in the state of Illinois go to China. And so to be on the verge of a trade war where those who will be hurt the hardest are our family farmers, I would ask the president to think again about this. If he's just trying to lob out an idea out in the atmosphere, there are real-world consequences to that.
What do you think the impact of these tariffs could be on Illinois' economy?
They could be to the tune of billions of dollars hurting the ag industry. On top of that, every time the president throws out pulling out of NAFTA, there are real-world consequences to that. Our biggest agricultural trading partners are Canada and Mexico. Again, you've got Argentina and Brazil waiting to do more business with Mexico. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have to take a look at NAFTA again. NAFTA actually helped places like John Deere and Caterpillar, but it hurt many of our workers, like the workers at Maytag. So let's be smart about it. Let's stop throwing out these ideas publicly. The negotiations on trade policy are typically done with men and women sitting in a room talking about the give and the take of how free trade works. And that does not seem to be a practice that we're seeing from President Trump.
Once that happens, once these profits get slashed back, what happens then? What are you going to do to make sure that it isn't devastating?
We, meaning Democrats, have a 23-vote minority. So we don't run the committees. We don't run the Ag Committee. We don't run Energy and Commerce. We don't run Transportation and Infrastructure. So I am yet one vote, and I can yell and kick and scream and fight for our family farmers, and that is what I will do. But in the end, we have to make sure that the president is on the right side of our family farmers, is on the right side of the ag economy, because that's who holds the levers of power out in Washington, D.C.
In part two of my conversation with the Congresswoman Sherry Bustos, why she says rural communities need more attention when it comes to fighting the opioid crisis. That's coming up at 6. In the studio, Tahera Rahman, Local 4 News.